Welcome to Bell Brothers Brewing.
Engineers talking about beers.
I'm Curtis.
I'm Cody.
And today we're doing Will It
Trojan Horse.
Trojan Man.
Trojan Man.
With this Trojan Horse combo, we're going to be mixing both Pepsi
And Coke.
with our beers today.
This will be interesting. And since we're doing double, it's going to be a lot of drinking today.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. We got a ton of beers, which is going to be great. Especially with the soda. The carbonation is going to be extreme.
Very bubbly. But at least this
bubbly.
time, it's not champagne. So we're not going to be like,
Yeah.
woo, making everything stronger. We're making it weaker.
We're not adding more alcohol to the system. Yeah, I agree completely.
Cody, what is a Trojan Horse?
A Trojan Horse is a mix between cola, and a stout, usually. So we're going to start off with Guinness, since that's the archetypical stout for this one. And then we're going to go off the rails and do whatever we want with it to see if you can Trojan Horse anything. Because that's what we do on Will It.
That's what we do.
We see Will It.
We've got Coke and Guinness.
It smells slightly different than last time.
It does. Yeah, the Guinness is definitely coming through a little stronger.
Yeah, it does. Looks nice.
Taste much better. Yep. It gives it kind of like a sweet tang to it, while the bitterness is balanced out in that background of the palate.
Yeah, the mouthfeel I think is about similar to a Guinness, maybe a hint more bubbly. But I'm not seeing a lot of difference in mouthfeel here. Yeah, not a ton to say.
No, pretty neutral.
So, boys, will it Trojan Horse?
I mean, obviously, right? This is like the Trojan Horse, right?
I guess.
So I would say, yes, this has the Trojan Horse because it is the Trojan Horse.
Yeah, it will, but it could be a lot better, I think.
Right. I think we got room for improvement. Well, Guinness just doesn't have, like, it's a really smooth, decent, and I would almost consider it like a black lager.
More than a stout, yeah.
Because it just doesn't have that to it. But like the Coke, I think, brings a sweetness to what would be considered almost neutral. You know?
Yeah, I'll give you that. A little sweetness, a little bit of a tangy. You know, well, that's what Coke is. It's sweet and tangy.
Not as tangy as Pepsi.
I was looking for this one to really be like, oh man, this is something interesting. But really, they just kind of,
Right. Well, it's a good way if you didn't want to drink beer.
I guess, yeah.
I guess. I don't know. So, let's go find out what else could be a better Trojan Horse. Now we've got Pepsi and Guinness. What are you smelling?
It smells slightly different, a hint sweeter. I think there's a hint more of the tang kind of coming through there.
I agree. Man, all right, so like there's like that bite that's naturally in Pepsi, I think, and that's playing funny with the stout.
This has got a much stronger flavor than the previous one.
It's much more enhanced. Yeah, it's kind of like if you took Guinness, and there's still some sweetness from the soda, but like the bitter, enhanced maltiness, maybe an 11, you know?
So, boys, will it Trojan Horse with Pepsi?
I think
yes,
more so. Yeah,
more so than with Coke. It's not incredibly better, but it is definitely different. It's got a little more going for it than the previous.
Yeah, I think the Pepsi's probably the better way to go. All right, so now we got Fat Tire and Coca-Cola. What are we smelling, Cody?
Not a whole lot of anything, actually. They both kind of just cancel each other out. Aroma-wise.
The sweetness from the Coca-Cola, I think, is really kind of bumping up that malt flavor from the Fat Tire. Very complex, very, just big.
Yeah.
Very big.
It completely changes it. I think the mouthfeel also really changes how this comes across, because the Coke really gives a big foamy mouthfeel. You take a sip, it's just poof.
Big time. Yeah, it's definitely a big
makes
one on that.
Fat Tire, which is like a lighter beer, feel like a big, heavy beer.
Which is kind of
Which is kind of interesting to think adding Coke to a beer makes it taste bigger and thicker.
So, will Fat Tire with Coke Trojan Horse?
Yes.
Yes.
I like this even more than the previous.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good way to go.
We have Pepsi and Fat Tire now. It's yeah.
The Pepsi continues. It must be the smell, the aroma. Like it really kind of carbonate and bumps it up. You can pick up like that sharp Pepsiness out of the aroma.
Yeah, this is definitely different. Got more of the tang of the Pepsi.
Yeah.
But not the sweetness quite as much.
No, and I don't think this plays quite as well as the Coke did with the Fat Tire. While the Pepsi kind of gives it that tangy bite.
It brightens it, but it's not.
Not
I
as
feel
much.
like the Coke that was enhancing the malt flavors really was better here.
So, will Fat Tire with Pepsi Trojan Horse?
No.
I think yes, it's still not bad, but like it's not as good as Coke and Fat Tire, but it's still not bad.
I guess. I'm just thinking like, okay, if you've got to pick, you know, because if everything will...
Well, because I'm thinking, so if the baseline was Coke and Stout, or it was Coke and Guinness, this is better than Coke and Guinness.
Okay.
Therefore, it must...
I agree with that. Yeah, okay, so yes, it Trojan Horses in the sense that we can drink it, it's not disgusting. I would recommend you drinking it. It's not as great. In rolling with the theme of August wheat beers, we've got Blue Moon and Coca-Cola. What do we got, Cody?
That smells funky. I actually don't like that smell. That's just not a good smell.
Tastes like lavender? Yep, yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that one. Tastes kind of like...
Yeah.
Like
Lavender-y, floral.
Yeah, it brings out all of the floral notes of Blue Moon.
Yeah, in a way that's not bad, though.
It is interesting.
It is certainly interesting. I don't know if I would call it good, but definitely interesting.
So, will Blue Moon with Coke Trojan Horse?
I'm going to go no here.
Yeah, I don't think this...
It's interesting
It's
experimentally,
so hard.
but
Yeah.
if you gave this to me in a full cup, if I said, here, drink a pint of this, you'd be like, no.
No, this you can't drink more than like a few sips of this. Yeah, I think that would just be overwhelmingly floral.
Yeah, floral, lavender.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So
it's good in like a little, if you do a little guy like this to taste it, it's an interesting taste, it's good. Don't pour yourself a pint of this.
So, will Blue Moon with Coke Trojan Horse?
No. Let's go to the beer.
So next up we've got Blue Moon and Pepsi, obviously. How's it smell?
The Pepsi kind of tang that we've gotten used to, I think, still continues to shine through, but there's a little bit of that floral wheat note that's coming out of the Blue Moon.
Flavor-wise, I feel like it enhances the orange peel a little.
It does. It's like it's
a little
bringing out
orangey
kind of the rind of the, like, because of the bite.
Yeah.
It brings out a little bit of the rind of the orange, which is a really interesting kind of factor to that.
It's a little more orangey and something else. There's a little bit of a florally background here.
But not nearly as strong as the Coke. Not at all.
It's like orange and a hint of floral.
Will Blue Moon with Pepsi Trojan Horse?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I quite enjoy this one.
It's pretty interesting.
And it's not like superior, I don't think yet, but it's interesting.
So next up we have High Hops Pinkalicious Sour with lemon and raspberry and Coca-Cola. What you smell?
Raspberry. The aromas are strong with that one.
Very much raspberry.
It's just like fruit, and Coke doesn't have anything to do with it. What taste? Fruit.
And sugar, and it's interesting. It's like a candy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very much like a fruit, like a raspberry candy with the Coke.
Yeah.
The sweetness, I
Like
think,
a-
helps kind of.
It makes you think of like a sweet gummy candy sort of thing going on.
Now the question is the beer itself more sour? Like, is there, or is it just like a weak kind of sour? Because the sour, the tanginess of the beer is not really.
Let's find out. No.
It's not even a goes. It's
You can taste the lemon juice and a little bit of the berry, but it's not. It tastes like it was as sour as the fruits that were put in it.
Yeah.
It's not particularly like they
There you
kettle
go.
sour.
It's like
It doesn't have any of that lactic flavor.
Sour
to it.
raspberry.
but at least they
sugar.
used real fruit this time.
Yes,
Agree.
it does taste like they used real fruit. That tastes like a real raspberry and real lemons. But I think that's all the sour came from, was just raspberry and lemons.
Yeah, you can't call it a sour beer if you just didn't sweeten it.
Well,
Like-
we don't know.
Okay, well you
No, they didn't do
you
it.
did a really shitty job of kettle souring your beer.
Because it doesn't come across as that tangy. Like, it's on the low end of a gose.
Yeah.
I would
Way
say it's a
lower.
fair estimate. Is a low.
I think our wild berry saison has more tanginess.
That's actually
than
what I was
the-
thinking. Is it kind of matches up in tanginess to a wild berry?
And that ain't a
saison.
sour, so guess what?
Will Pinkalicious with Coke Trojan Horse?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does. I think it enhances that raspberry with a little bit of the sweetness, kind of gives you that raspberry candy.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be really, really strong sweet tooth to want to drink a full pint of this. But I could drink it without being upset. It's just like, it's like drinking some sort of raspberry candy, like a raspberry gummy candy. So I'm not sure I could drink a full pint, but if I was really in the mood for something sweet, you could maybe get this through.
All right, so this time we got Pinkalicious with Pepsi. Oh yeah, what are we smelling, Cody?
This one smells mostly like raspberries. It's a little less like fruit than the Pinkalicious and Coke. How's it taste?
I'm not sure that's working quite as well as I'd hoped. While the sweetness of the Coke kind of gave me like the candy, the sharp bite of the Pepsi is pulling something else out of the beer, and I'm not sure where that's at. Maybe more the lemon?
Lemon or raspberry seed?
Seed?
It tastes like the seeds of the raspberry. Yeah, I think that's really where it goes. It tastes more seedy.
I'm not sure I like this one more than the other one.
So will Pinkalicious with Pepsi Trojan Horse?
No.
Yes.
No, I'm going to split on this one. I don't like it.
Oh, I
I don't think it
understand.
works.
And now we have Horse and Dragons. What's the name?
Sorry. Picnic Rock.
Picnic Rock Pale Ale and Coke.
And Coke. All right, I'm picking up some aroma. Like you can smell it from back here. Like I don't even have to put it. It smells kind of pleasing, honestly.
Yeah.
I like it. A little floral, a little fruity, a
A little floral and hoppy, yeah.
Yeah, I like the smell on that.
It does have a smell of lavender, which scares me after the Blue Moon, which is just... Ooh, that good.
But the Coke sweetness and the bitter, yeah.
I told you it was bad! I told you it was terrible!
That kicks like a race.
That is horrid.
That kicks like a racehorse. Man, your hophead wants that like astringent kick of bitter, fucking just.
Like, we added sweet Coke to this,
and it's still bitter.
astringent.
Oh.
Hang on, let me pour what I need.
We need to taste the base beer to see if this is Coke making it real bad or if the base beer is okay.
The base beer is horrendous.
This requires an exploration of just the base beer. Normally we don't do this on our Willets, but in this case, special dispensation to one of our personal favorites, Horse and Dragons.
I would like to preface this with it is a pale ale. This is not an IPA.
It's a pale ale. Wha. Wha. Yeah, that is very astringent.
Curtis, put it in your
and
mouth.
Not flavorful at all. Like, so thin, watery base and then just ridiculously astringent finish.
The aroma says segues into noticeable bright hops and bitterness. Yeah, I agree. The aromas are fantastic on the way, by the way. But it says malt body is light for a smooth finish with lingering light floral hop flavor. Now,
Wrong.
yeah, I'm sorry. You just hopped it way too hard for that bittering hop.
That is
just.
It is a light malt body.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
But the hops
Too light.
just dominate.
Yeah.
It is way too astringent. Horse and Dragon, we love your stuff. This, no.
Revisit, please. Reduce the hops, something. That's rough.
It's too astringent for an IPA.
Yeah,
This is
but
hop
for
water.
Pale ale. Yeah, it's we've done that a couple of
Yeah,
times
made
now.
the hop
We've
water.
made the hop waters, and don't make the hop
Don't make
waters.
the hop water.
All right, let's move on to the Pepsi.
Oh,
don't
first
have
we got to do the Willet and the...
Oh, have we not done the
No,
Will?
we've not
You
done
don't think
the
that was an
Will.
obvious solution to that one? All right, dear, ask us the question.
So, will Horse and Dragons Picnic Rock Trojan Horse with Coke?
No.
No.
I think that was a no.
And now we've got PV. Picnic Rock with Pepsi. Cody, what are we doing? What are we smelling here? Pepsi and Picnic
It's
Rock.
got an interesting floral and sweet aroma. A little bit of tang. I wouldn't say it goes fruity. It's floral and sweet.
The Pepsi actually fights off the astringent bitterness. Big time.
Yeah.
It is fighting it so hard. I would say this one actually is better than the other one.
It's better than the other. It's better than the base. There's still
that
a bite
astringent
in the back of your tongue.
It coats, it fights and sticks. It's just
So, will Picnic Rock with Pepsi Trojan Horse?
No.
So next up we have Peroni from
Italy.
Italy with Coca-Cola. What you smell?
So little skunk.
Yeah,
You know, like
it came in a green bottle.
Right.
It got shipped overseas.
you know, it's like you know, as you do in Colorado. Sweetness, balances. I don't think the beer has much of like a flavor. I mean, maybe the skunkiness, but there's no like bitterness back there.
It's a very light bitter, yeah.
May pump up a little bit of the maltness.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a decent international pale lager style beer. I mean, they did the green bottle thing, so yeah,
Right.
It's skunky smelling.
All I taste is skunk.
But
Is skunk but
It's mixed with the Coke. It's interesting. I don't know if I'd call it too interesting.
So, will Peroni with Coke Trojan Horse?
No. All right, now we got Peroni with Pepsi. More pee-pee.
But it smells interesting. A little less skunky. The Pepsi kind of subsumed the skunky stank.
And it dominates the flavor. The Pepsi is so strong that it tastes like a really light Pepsi, like Diet Pepsi almost, without the diet flavors.
It tastes like Pepsi that's had a few ice cubes dissolved, like
there you go.
melted
Yeah, watered Pepsi.
It's like someone watered my Pepsi just a little bit.
So I guess it's technically not worse, but
Technically not worse, but not
Why?
really combining to make something interesting here.
So, will Peroni with Pepsi Trojan Horse?
no.
Don't mix it.
Moving on. All right, now we've got Ben's Brewing's Export Stout with Coke.
Ooh, that's interesting. You can really smell the barrel and the vanilla notes in there.
Yes, the barrel age on that one is intense. I kind of like that with the Coke maybe, because like you do a rum and Coke kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
How's it taste?
Really, really strong vanilla and wood.
Oh man. If you really liked barrel aged,
Yeah, this tastes almost like an actual rum and Coke.
yeah.
In the sense that,
yeah, it does.
If you use like maybe a spice rum, maybe not spice rum. There's like a vanilla-y rum going on here,
Right.
from the barrel, and that's the main flavor.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tasty.
So, will Bend Brewing's Trade War Trojan Horse with Coke?
Yes.
Yes. That is one of the more interesting, better ones, personally. This enhances that flavor so much.
Yeah, a lot. It's got an interesting. This tastes like the drink that people actually want, which is the rum and Coke.
Right.
It's pretty good. You got that vanilla, you got the oaky, and then it mixes well with the Coke. This works.
This will give you a rum and Coke, but on a much lower alcohol content, right? So like you get some caffeine, you get a much lower alcohol, but you can drink like a whole pint.
Yeah,
or
you
two
can
of
pour
these.
yourself pints of this and just go and have a good old time because you're not getting that drunk. So we've got Ben Brewing's Trade War with Pepsi. What you smell?
The aroma, same thing. Pepsi keeps on taking over. I don't know why. Like whatever that is in Pepsi is just it keeps
Some sort of acidic tang that just completely knocks out anything else.
brings out more of like a coffee flavor out of the stout itself. I think the bitterness is kind of grabbing hold of the dark roast malts.
Yeah, like a coffee with a whiskey almost.
There you go, like an Irish coffee maybe. That's
Yeah.
I can call it.
There's like an alcoholic back flavor, which is the barrel.
Yeah.
An alcoholic flavor in the back of your mouth with a sort of a coffee rich sort of flavor.
It's not bad, but it's not as like
Yeah. The vanilla's gone. I think that's
Yeah.
a big thing. There's no vanilla.
Will Bend Brewing's Trade War Trojan Horse with Pepsi?
No.
No. I think it kills the beer.
No. Yeah.
It's not even that it like degrades or it's less, or it could be better. No, it killed the beer.
This really doesn't taste that much like beer anymore. You kind of lose the interest. Like, there's some alcohol flavor, but you lose the interesting barrel vanilla notes.
Right.
So next up, we've got Spoetzel out of Shiner, Texas, Prickly Pear Ale and Coke.
Prickly pear. And I can smell this one back here.
Kind of smells like sweet tarts to me.
Yeah. Yes. Sweet tart candy. Like when you crack open, you got a little bit of dust on that. That's what it smells like. It smells like sweet tart.
Tastes like a sweet tart too.
Yeah. I'm not against that. I think that prickly pear, we'd have to probably try the base beer itself.
This would be one where we have to taste
Yeah,
the
we
base
gotta
beer
find
while
it.
we go through.
I feel like this is pretty interesting.
I don't know if I do a pint of it though. It's that candy,
Like the
sweet,
candy sweet. Like if you wanted to eat like handfuls and handfuls of sweet tarts.
Yeah, I just feel like after a pint of this, you'd be like, ugh.
So, will Spoetzel's Prickly Pear with Coke Trojan Horse?
Kind of. Maybe.
50
Depending on your taste.
Yeah, if you really want to get into it, I'm sure.
But I'm not sure I want to drink a lot of this.
I could see this going really well with some, like, if you had a couple of people that, like, had the sweet tooth and didn't want to drink beer necessarily, and you were trying to bring, like, beer mixers to my cool cocktail party, right? Like, this could play with it. But I agree, because it just doesn't.
It's different. It's interesting, but You couldn't drink a pint of it. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
So it literally tastes like a sweet tart candy.
It would be rough to put down
Yeah.
a pint. Like I like my sugar, and it would still be rough.
As
for me to
someone
put
who
a pint
wants
down.
to drink a beer, if you handed this to me, I'd be like, "Where's the beer?"
Right? Yeah. That's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Definitely not the worst.
Definitely not the worst.
Y'all had too much to drink.
Now we've got Pexels Prickly Pear Pepsi. What do we smell, Cody?
Pepsi. And a little something else, but mostly Pepsi. What's your taste?
We're tasting Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Same problem as the Peroni.
So, Will Spotzel's Prickly Pear with Pepsi, Trojan Horse.
No, it does not.
So next up we have Copper Kettle's Mexican Style Hot Chocolate Stout and Coke.
The traditional, the ongoing, the consistent one for 2020. What are we smelling?
The base beer. It just smells like the Mexican hot chocolate stout.
Actually, the taste, I think it kind of removes a lot of that spicy. You know, because we're used to that. Well, it's Mexican chocolate, so it has that cayenne kind of bite. The Coke just kills that completely.
The spicy's gone, but left behind the pepper flesh. Like it's still
Vegetal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still adds. I'm not sure I like that as much because the vegetal sweetness, like the sweet veggie chocolate, it's not playing well. I like the base beer more than I like this one.
By far.
So, Will your Mexican style chocolate stout with Coke, Trojan Horse?
No.
I don't think this plays well. There's no combination of some of the parts here.
Yeah.
But it's still drinkable.
Yeah. It's not horrible, but just drink the base beer.
Yeah.
Or have a Coke. Don't mix them. They don't work.
This one's not as good. No.
You lose some of the interesting flavors of the base beer and replace them with nothing.
We're to the final beer. Yeah.
And we've got Copper Kettle's Mexican Hot Chocolate Stout with Pepsi.
With Pepsi.
What you smell?
Pepsi. Man, I don't know what you do, Pepsi, but
There's a hint of cayenne in the Pepsi.
but
Slightly
it's
spicy.
Pepsi. It is.
It's Pepsi with a twist of spice.
There's something in the aromas. And the bitterness. All right, so Pepsi just like raffle stomps everything out of the beer. I'm not picking up anything. Are you?
No, like there's some flavors going on that are hard to describe.
Yeah.
It's like water with some other shit going on.
I don't know. The combination of the two kind of like neutralize themselves. I don't know. It's a really strange effect because I'm not getting any kind of the spicy. There's a little bit of the vegetal and kind of a bitterness on the back of the palate. But then there's not enough sweetness to bring up the chocolate. The chocolate's not really there at all.
It's like sugar water that someone waved chili over, and it was like, boom, drink it.
Right. I don't know. It just kills it.
Yeah.
Which is really strange. I was kind of hoping that Pepsi would bring it up some more.
Yeah.
So, Will Copper Kettle's Mexican style chocolate stout, Trojan Horse with Pepsi?
No. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Enjoy the beer by itself. It does not enhance either side of this.
Nope.
So, I would say that the Trojan Horse baseline being a stout, right, is definitely in the right direction.
Yes. I think you need to go for bigger, more flavorful stouts. Guinness, yeah. But the top order of the day, this guy from Bend Brewing. So go for a big barrel-aged stout. You'll get a really interesting flavor. Do not use the hop water, for you will have a bad time. If you hop water when you're supposed to stout, you're going to have a bad time.
I would be interested to see where this goes if like we tried to do it with like a good pale ale, like Sierra Nevada's pale ale, or going with a really good IPA. You know, even we could try, Robin Hopsley, right? Like where we just run something kind of double
Something
IPA.
a little less astringent.
Yeah, because the astringency on that base beer just, I don't know if it gave like pale ales of
everything
a fair
else.
shake.
Yeah. Using such a bad beer as a baseline. Thanks for visiting us here at Bell Brothers Brewing.
If you enjoyed this content, make sure you like and subscribe and hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, or other social media. This has been Engineers Talking About Beers. Cheers.
Let's get into it.
Head on over to our YouTube channel if you want to see our deeper analysis of each one of the Willet Trojan Horse.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly.
Welcome to Bell Brothers Brewing.
I'm Curtis. Fuck.
Engineer Hunk.
I'm somebody else today.
That's going in the bloopers. Welcome to Bell Brothers Brewing.
I'm Cody.
No. Engineers.
Engineers.
This is engineers talking about Jesus.
Gotcha.
He can't even fucking get our intro right here.
Fuck
I don't know how
the
many times
intro.
we gotta do this.
Do it all. Alright.
Is it half and half?
Alright, hi hops. This is we'll call it bloopers after the fact so that only the people that really pay attention get to see this one. Y'all fucked up that blueberry wheat something fierce, so I hope you pay attention to this raspberry. If you use chemicals in this one again, I'm gonna be hating.
No, there's no chemical. It's just not
It's just
fantastic.
a mess sour.
Yeah, it's just a mess sour.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is Pinkalicious with Pepsi.
It's pinkalicious.
Pinkalicious.
Your turn. I picked a nasty one. I picked a nasty one.
Do we need to drink the beer first?
Alright, so this is Peroni from Italia.
Pepperoni?
Coke.
Like pepperoni?
From Italy. Italy.
Italia?
From Italy. No. I think
That's
four
a
is
four
fair.
scare?
Yeah.
It's fair score. That's the term. I think what you were talking about, going on there. Where were we going with that? Too many beers. I started to feel the wah 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 wah.
Started in what you were talking about. Once
Party
you put together your thoughts.
And putting
Yeah.
things together. No, the base beer is delicious.
Nice.
We're doing Monster and Coke. This doesn't taste like a beer at all. That's just like a beer. Ah!
So this is Spotzel Brewery
Spoonsel?
out of Shiner, Texas. They're prickly pear. I'm gonna call it a prickly pear ale because they
Prickly
didn't
pear?
say what type of beer it is.
Prickly pear ale?
It's actually a really good prickly pear beer, and I don't like
Alright.
prickly pear.
So we got the prickly pear stout. This is for you, Carson. Or not prickly pear stout. Prickly pear ale. It's for
Oh,
you,
yeah?
Carson. Yeah, Carson pointed this out to me. Was like, hey, you guys should taste this. It's in a Willet instead of a review video, but we don't really have a review video for prickly pear ale.
Well, that, and since Carson, you were the only one that gave us any kind of input on, viewer's choice, here it is.
Here's your choice. Yeah, not bad. It's
A little sour?
yeah, a little sour, kind of tangy. I wouldn't call it sour because it's definitely not lactic sour. They didn't sour this
No,
at all.
It's not a soured
The
beer.
prickly
It
pear
just-
is kind of got a tangy flavor to
It's like
it.
a fruity sour.
It's also got a little hint vegetable.
Yeah, vegetal. would be a good beer.
It's almost it's a weird sort of vegetable because it's
I feel like it needs more malt body.
yeah. I think a little more sweetness really would have pumped that up some.
Right. So if I was gonna give this one a score by itself, a beer, 4. I don't.
I give it
I'm not-
almost a 5. It's neutral. The sweet, the tangy was kind of interesting, but
The tangy, there is an interest point, yes, with the tangy kind of prickly pear, but the beer itself without the fruit, just there's nothing to write home about. And so then when you add the prickly pear on it, it's not helping.
yeah. I think really what needs to be happening here is they need to boost the malt flavors.
Yeah.
Maybe use a honey malt.
Yes.
I think a honey malt
Yes.
could really help boost that sweetness.
Alright, so now we have Spotzel's prickly pear with Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Say that 3 times fast. Prickly pear with Pepsi.
Spotzel's prickly pear with Pepsi.
Boom. 1 time fast. Spotzel's prickly pear with Pepsi.
Prickly pear with Pepsi.
2 times fast.